friends, this is JB with the 14-Day Wisdom Challenge show, and here we go. Do you notice something a little different today? Well, I've been thinking about things, and I've been getting more wisdom. Of course, we're in the wisdom literature. We're pouring into this wisdom literature on a continuous basis. We're hammering it. Yeah, guess what? JB's learning some things myself. I'm learning a little bit about positioning, a little bit about how it seemed as if I was looking away from you, my audience, in the last way I had things formatted. So we're going to try it just a little different. We're going to try it in this way, see where it goes. All right, we've got to try something new. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, guess what's going to happen? You're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again and get probably nowhere. We're trying new things. I'm working, improving. I encourage you to keep improving. So where are you today? Are you on day 1? Are you on day 14? Are you on your second iteration of this? You're like, you've got through 14, and I've already heard of some great blessings that people have been sharing with me. Wish you'd get their posting as well. But the fact of the matter is that these are for you, and so you should be getting something out of it. As you restructure and reevaluate your life after 14 days, you're going to take another look, get deeper insight here. Let me make a little note. I still owe you a result. Like, what do we do after 14 days? Do we does JB abandon you? No. So we've got after post 14 day, what to do. So committed to working on that, have a lot going on. So just stay tuned, be patient, my friends. You can take a break or you can pour back into here for another 14 days, because you know that when you keep on pouring into this, you will get benefits, you will get blessing, you will get wisdom, you will get insight. And how great is that for your life? Yesterday, I had talked about Job chapter 4, and here we are in 5, and I see there's no new sectioning off when it comes to the English Standard Version. And I think what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to look forward to the following chapter to make sure that we're on at least a new section. I'm going to try to make sure that we tackle chunks of sections. Okay, so we've got chapters, but I'm looking for those section titles because this really relates to yesterday's episode, and it's fine because I actually want to do a little bit more research. We were talking about that spirit, right? We were talking about that spirit that just appears, and while the spirit may be saying some truthful things, it's doing it to Job's friend in a way that is used to poke and tear at Job. Okay, his friend is using truth in sort of a way that is twisted in such that it is going to be used to kind of poke at Job. You remember when Jesus was fasting in the wilderness and the devil took him up on the cliff and said, "Hey Jesus, why don't you go ahead and just jump off this cliff, lest your foot be dashed by the stone, the angel will come and save you," right? See, that was another way where the devil takes these truths and twists it in a way, okay? So I was looking at some formal commentary, and some of that was saying that was probably the Spirit of God that was talking to Job's friend, right? And I was thinking, like, geez, that doesn't sound right to me. Eliphaz speaks. Then you remember, I think we're in 16 right here is where it was, and it stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence. Then I heard a voice. Can a mortal man be in the right before God? Can a man be pure before his maker? And it's like, yeah, there's some truth in that, but it seems like what he's trying to do, the timing and the fact that the Lord has let Satan loose to not to kill Job, but to test him, and it's because of the context and the backdrop of all this, it's as if that he's really trying to kind of tweak Job through this friend, okay? And so what I found was what I would have liked to do is tackle this whole thing yesterday. But what we're gonna tackle it today. We're gonna tackle it today and figure out where we are so far. Now, I thought that it was kind of neat that I found some commentaries. I think there was a couple out there, a couple doctors who also agreed with my assertion of what I believe that spirit was. There seems to be a darkness, a looming, glooming darkness to that spirit, and it's not like Moses in the burning bush, where the fear of the Lord is just upon him. This seems to be an ominous shaped figure that just from the just the way it's all presented. Okay, so let's read this. We still got a lot to do with this particular chapter. It would have been a big bite yesterday. In the future, I think we're going to tackle even 2 chapters, 3 even, as long as it's in one section. Remember, the sections in the English Standard Version kind of are a neat way to sort of think about what we're actually involved in right now. And I like them. I'm not saying that the chapters aren't good too, but I like these chunks. So let's keep it relevant. So let's get on with it. Call now. Is there anyone who will answer you? To which the holy ones will you turn? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Surely vexation kills the fool, and jealousy slays the simple. You know, all these things are really good. There's a lot of truth in this. I have seen the fool taking root, but suddenly I cursed his dwelling. His children are far from safety. They are crushed in the gate, and there is no one to deliver them. The hungry eat his harvest. The hungry eat his harvest, and he takes it even out of thorns. And the thirsty pant after his wealth. For affliction does not come from the dust, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. But man is born to trouble. And as the sparks fly upward, as for me, I would seek God, and to God I would commit my cause. So he's kind of like talking about how the foolish basically are sort of plagued with these problems, and probably from their own doing, as God's providence does not really support the foolish and such, in terms of, look, if you're foolish and you go walking out in the middle of the street, you're gonna get run over. The foolish says in that there's a line in the street, but doesn't get out of the street, So as for me, now he's saying, as for me, I would commit to God I would commit my cause. Who does great things? So he talks about God, and here's the solution. Job, you probably haven't been doing this. You should do this, maybe. And that's kind of like the context. And it's kind of, Job has been doing this, but it's a whole different dynamic. It's God's plan out there that this man has no insight to, no purview to, rather. Who does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. He gives rain on the earth and sends waters on the fields. That's what rain's a blessing in the Bible. He sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He's a protector. He frustrates the devices of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. Okay, he's an advocate. He's the hero. Okay, he catches the wise in their own craftiness. Okay, wise in their own craftiness. Wise. You can be wise. Like, you can try to get this 14-day wisdom challenge. So you're going to get some wisdom, but if you're not really centered in God, then it's going to become sort of like a craft of yours to use it as a means to get what you want. And God will catch you. And the schemes of the wily are brought to a quick end. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope at noonday as in night. So although there's light, they're not really looking. But he saves the needy from the sword of their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. Interesting. This is so good. This This is beautiful. I can see why this is part of the wisdom literature. So the poor have hope, and injustice shuts their mouth. Behold, blessed is the one whom God reproves, and therefore despise not the discipline of the Almighty. Oh, there's the gold nugget. That's today's gold nugget. We hadn't had a gold nugget in a while. Here's today's. For he wounds, but he binds up. He shatters, but his hands heal. You know, we got God in his great plan. He will deliver you from 6 troubles. In 7, no evil shall touch you. It's limitless. Let's keep counting. In famine, he will redeem you from death, and in war, from the power of the sword. You shall be hidden from the lash of the tongue, and shall not fear destruction when it comes. At destruction and famine you shall laugh, and shall not fear the beasts of the earth. And it's kind of like this sort of pokes deep at the wounds of Job right now, because his destruction is close, really. And really, Job should be still counting it all part of God's plan, and as his sovereign will shares, it's up to the Lord. For you shall be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. You shall know that your tent is at peace. You shall inspect your fold and miss nothing. All these great things from the Lord. You shall know also that your offspring shall be many, and your descendants as the grass of the earth. You shall come to your grave in ripe old age, like a sheaf gathered up in its season. Behold, this we have searched out. It is true. Hear and know it for your good. This is great. So many little proverbs in here. So many little nuggets to be extracted. And then yet, at the end, it sort of encapsulates what his friend is trying to pour wisdom into Job. Doesn't realize that this spirit has sort of taken the improper timing of sharing some of this in the context that he is to Job. But yet possibly there's some good that comes out of this. This is such a dynamic, needs to be studied, needs to be understood. You could get in here. I suggest, though, today, you've got a big read. This is a big one. Had we put them both together, you had 3 big readings today. Once we've already read, you've got 2 more times, right? Watch, read, share. Watch, read, share. You share something out of this. There's some wisdom in here. You can still share that. You can share the context. You can share something that's coming out of your life. That's how you get stuff out of this 14-day wisdom challenge. You get it by doing the work, putting the work in. It's not a lot. It really only took us about 5 minutes to read this. Less if you were by yourself. Read it. Get into it. Get wisdom, my friends. Get it now. Get wisdom. Get understanding. Get insight. Get discretion. Get it now. Let's do this.